Set against the sweeping backdrop of the late 1700 Pacific Islands, Chief of War doesn't just open with a bang. It throws us into a world tearing at the seams. 4 kingdoms, Kauaʻi, Hawaiʻi, Maui, and Oʻahu, stand as rivals, kept apart by water but bound by prophecy, pride, and the weight of ancestral power. Episode 1 wastes no time plunging us into the brutal reality of this fractured paradise, where war is a constant shadow and unity is a distant dream. At the heart of it all is Kauaʻi, a former chief of war with a complicated past and an even more complicated legacy. Charismatic and deadly, Kauaʻi has walked away from bloodshed before, leaving King Kahekili of Maui behind in search of peace. But Maui's ghost haunts him, and so does the prophecy, one that promises a feather-capped figure will rise to unite the islands. Whether Kauaʻi wants it or not, all signs point to him. From the moment the conch blows and warriors land, it's clear that Kauaʻi's presence is still charged with meaning. He returns to Maui only to face suspicion, resentment, and the kind of tension that simmers beneath every glance and gesture. Even when summoned to the War Council, he's met with cold eyes, especially from the elusive Nu, whose silent spear speaks louder than any insult. Their showdown isn't just a test of strength, it's a public reckoning. And Kauaʻi delivers. In one flash of ferocity, he proves he's still the warrior he once was, forcing even King Kahekili to show reluctant admiration. But admiration isn't enough to pull Kauaʻi back into service. Not yet. What's fascinating here is the push and pull between fate and choice. Kahekili believes the prophecy is unfolding, with Kauaʻi at the center, whether he accepts it or not. He warns of the danger from Oʻahu, a kingdom whose high priest is manipulating a young ruler into war, and whose army dwarfs Maui's. This isn't paranoia, it's an existential threat. Still, Kauaʻi resists. He insists he's not a king, not a leader, and not returning to battle. But prophecy doesn't ask for permission. When the seer speaks, when visions are seen, when the dead speak through ritual, Kauaʻi is thrown into a deeper, spiritual pool. And when he finally joins the fight, it's brutal. The raid on the temple, Kahekili's merciless assault on innocents, and the desecration of sacred spaces, all of it turns what was meant to be a strategic mission into a moral crisis. Then, in Episode 2, the story shifts perspective. Enter Kauaʻi's daughter, Kauaʻi, a bold young woman who gazes at the stars not with wonder, but with the aching desire to escape her role. She's not content to be a bargaining chip in a political marriage, and her curiosity about the world outside Hawaii makes her feel like a character born ahead of her time. When her father returns and tells of Oʻahu's crimes, the weight of war crashes down on her future. What's especially striking is how prophecy weaves through every layer. The prophetess, Tia with Macron, Ale with Macron, warns of danger tied to the gods themselves. And she's not just talking about metaphorical risk. She hints that some truths are so volatile, they could unravel the universe if revealed too soon. Meanwhile, Kauaʻi grows disillusioned with Kahekili's bloodlust and cruelty. When the king orders Kauaʻi's return, dead or alive, it's no longer about strategy. It's obsession. Kahekili believes the prophecy is bound to Kauaʻi's bones, not just his spirit. So Kauaʻi flees, deeper into the valley, only to be hunted again. There's an eerie, almost mythic moment when Kauaʻi, bleeding and desperate, uses a piglet's squeals to cover his own escape. That's how low he's been brought. And it's in that desperation that he stumbles into Kauaʻi's hiding place. Their encounter is tense, but strangely fated. Two people tethered to the same broken future, trying to rewrite it on their own terms. But destiny doesn't stop there. Suddenly, the British arrive on Maui's coast, white-skinned outsiders armed with technology the islanders have never seen. Their presence adds a new layer of threat and confusion. A gunshot, fired in fear, sets off a domino effect. Kahekili's warriors descend. The British retreat, but not before leaving chaos in their wake. From here, things spiral. Kauaʻi and the others prepare to sail away, but not without loss. A lone British soldier, stranded and seeking refuge, complicates everything. And just when it seems like Kauaʻi might find a moment of safety, he chooses defiance. Standing on the edge of a cliff, facing Kahili's entire army, he leaps. That moment is powerful, not just visually, but symbolically. Kauaʻi would rather risk death than let himself be a pawn in another man's war. Yet when he wakes, he's not dead. He's on board a British ship, far from the shores he fought to protect. Where he goes next is uncertain. But the story? It's only getting started. What do you think the prophecy really means? Is Kauaʻi destined to be a unifier or a destroyer? And how will the British factor into what's coming next? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear your theories.